bring up anybody, bring those who join later, bring them up to speed, we will do so. But I think let's start off just saying. Last week has been great. I think we had a kind of a 1.5 or over a 1.5 million payout in ETH. That was great. And so I think, as usual, I'll suggest we just take a quick look at the health of the protocol, overview of last week, and what to expect in the week to come. I think we've got another payout in a day or so, so it'll be good to just take a quick look and see where things are overall. So in the meantime, if you want to speak, Troll, please let me know. Again, I will sort of bring you up. And so after we take a quick look at the current health of the protocol, we can then sort of discuss. If there's anything that anyone wants to discuss and so on, we should. At that point, I think discuss that. I think Jamie may have something to discuss. So yes, good. Just kicking off. I think it's important to sort of note. I think last week. Let's just take a look at the stats from last week and then compare this week. So. Bear with me as I pull this up. Yeah. Okay. So currently we have a liquid. We have liquid at sort of 15.54%. This went down to 12% or just above 12%, as I think, as we all know, during the week. State, we've got 42.57%. That's approximated to 43%. State. Buy and burn, we've got, again, we can approximate this to 42%. Penalties, 22%. Now, how does that compare to last week's? I think very good. It does. It compares very well. The buy and burn for last week was 37% compared to 41% this week. State last week, of course, was 47%. This week is 42%. We all know that there was a lot of, sort of liquid TitanX tokens that hit the market. So it's not. I think when you take that into account, it actually looks good. Again, liquid, we know last week was 15.31%, and this week is 15.54%. I think we're saying this because it's important to keep reminding ourselves that this is a very young protocol, and that we have this level of data to look at and compare. It is really fantastic, to be honest. And so I think that's good. It's important to keep ourselves reminded. I think go into just taking a quick look at the payouts. Again, of course, the 28-day payout was just over 1.5 million in USD in ETH. We know we've got another payout. We've got the 8-day payout that's due on day 32. This is day 30. So we're talking about it's sort of less than 48 hours actually, and it's now close to it's just approximately 350,000 US in ETH will be paid out, and the 28-day payout cycle is already filling up. It's over 200 USD in ETH. Interestingly, we're looking at this 90-day payout and 369-day payout cycles. So these are ones to keep an eye on, particularly 369-day a payout cycle. Again, I think as we discussed last week, I will not be surprised if we end up with a, anywhere from, I mean, conservatively speaking, about 5 million USD in ETH and 10 million, 5 to 10 million in ETH come day 369. I think that's 31st of October next year. That's about the first anniversary of the protocol. Now, the 90-day payout cycle, again, so it's just over, it's 1.1 million. So I think that's quite good. And we're going to have a double pay. We're going to have a double payout on day 56. So that's the 28-day cycle. So just over 200, or just about 220 USD in ETH, plus the 8-day cycle at the time. That will be really interesting to look at. So kind of long and short of it, that's where we are with the payout cycles. Let's just take a quick look at the buy and burn pools and see what they are doing. So the V1 slow release is just over 9 million USD. The fast release, V2, is over 1.5 million in USD. I think, our community member, Bro, said during the week that, his prediction was that the ETH would hit the pool would hit 1,000 ETH by the 8th of December. And I think we probably will exceed that by 8th of December. But long and short of it, folks, this is really looking good. And I think with our participation, as a community, building this protocol and growing it, there are bigger things to come. And I think, Jamie, I know you had you had some ideas about protocols that potentially will be built on either TitanX or Hyper. It would be interesting to hear that, and I think we should have start having discussions on that in the future. Sort of breakout sessions, or sort of setting up a separate sessions so that we can definitely start working out the best way to approach that, because of course we want to maintain first principles, fair crypto. We don't want to be in breach of security laws, particularly in the US. So yes, that would be great. I mean, I've got a lawyer, actually 2 crypto lawyers, but this one in particular that I can get on board to join us at any session to give us some guidance. And he's established a decent international practice on his own. The second lawyer really works from a very traditional law firm, and they are really, I mean, it's pretty much your usual sort of Clifford Chance, Alan Overy type law firms, a US law firm in this case. It's not White and Case, but it's one of the top ones, and they too can help. But again, as mentioned, the first chap, I can get on a moment's notice to join us on the call at our own time. So anyway, put it this way: there are resources out there that we can tap into to make sure we're on the, straight and narrow, to make sure we don't hit any minefields along the way with any of the new projects or projects that we want to build. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. So just a reminder to for all of us, and for those of us probably who are new, with TitanX was founded by Jake Sharp. He well, there was no ICO, there was no sacrifice IDO or pre-sale of any kind. What we had here really was a case of a fully built protocol that was launched, and pretty much is a community protocol, and it's done extremely well. This is day 30 since it was launched, and so the stats that you heard me read out a few minutes ago really all happened within the last 30 days. So Um, and if this growth continues, I think we all will be, you know, pleasantly surprised. It's important to say that the way it was designed, the way the protocol was designed, you can really hop on um, at any point and still and do really well. It's not a pump and dump. It's not a short term type, typical crypto um, project. This you really got to you need time, and so to mine, I think there's a term that's used. So to mint or mine your tokens, you do need time. You need ETH. You need time to mine. It's a protocol very comparable to Bitcoin, but it has additional features. So long and short of it, this is really an economic system with its own monetary system. Hyperinflationary in the beginning, and hyperdeflationary, um, you know, once hyper is launched, which should be within the next couple of months or so. So I think I would sort of open up the floor now. I think if you have any questions, please, this is the forum for us to discuss what the protocol is about, answer any questions that one may have, and to bear in mind that this is really a very transparent community, and so please do feel free to ask any questions. Now, please let me know if you want to speak. I will bring you up. Just let me know, and I will bring you up. So, okay, Jamie, do you want to come up? Do you want me to send you an invite? I will. Let me send you. Yes, great. Listen, guys. I mean, we've got Mike Dean up, and I must say, as you guys know, mentioned this earlier, I have a lot of respect for this guy. His analysis is spot on, very good. This guy's an asset to the community, and I think I want to acknowledge him for all the work that he's done. You see, there's one thing about just saying things that saying things. There's another. It's quite another saying it than delivering. If you were actually on the call 2 weeks ago, Mike talked about putting together some stats for the community, and and we actually indicated yes, that would like to have that. And Mike just he went out and he got it done. And it gives us such granular information that I think we're a lot more informed in the way we participate in this. And so listen to the last piece of work that he did, which is which was a video on a YouTube video on how the buy and burn works. I mean, that's the best out there. So I think I'll say that, and of course he's doing this for free. So you know, to show appreciation. Uh, he's not in person that we can get him a coffee or something like that, a cup of coffee or something. But send him, send him some ETH or crypto of value just to say. And again, there's no compulsion here, but it's just a suggestion. And I'm going to follow my own advice on this because I find that work spot on. So on that note, Mike, sorry, but I really had to say that. I know you and I haven't had a prior conversation about this, but it's something that needed to be said. Okay, and I want to hand over to you if you can take us through some of the work that the work that you've done, and the stats that you've put together, and of course anything you want to say, that will be great. Okay, so I will pause and I'll hand over to you.
All right, Plan A. Thank you very much, man. I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, I appreciate, man. And yeah, absolutely. I really, it takes me quite some time to put these things together. I'm pretty new to making videos or anything of that sort. So yeah, sometimes the videos I'm currently making one as well. It's regarding more about understanding how the staking system works, basically. I'm seeing a lot of people don't understand it very well, and I'm getting a lot of DMs, people asking me questions. So I'm trying to I'm currently like recording a video, but man, it takes so much time. It's crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. And hopefully in the next upcoming days, I'm going to release it. So, I mean, some of the things which I am looking at, which is quite interesting, and I've tweeted about this as well. Um, if you go to dune.com, Mike Dean / TitanX, you're gonna see the TitanX community dashboard I created. And while you're there, just star it as well if you can, because Dune, the more stars I get, basically, or the dashboard gets, it gets refreshed by Dune automatically. If that's not the case, then well, we'll at some point, if that doesn't happen anymore, then we'll have to run it ourselves, let's say, and that's how Dune earns money, is when you run it, it costs money to run it. So basically, but anyway, the more stars it gets, the more popular it is. Dune will just refresh it free of charge. So if you can do that. The second thing, I tweeted about this as well, and I'm really interested about the unique addresses, let's say. So that basically is telling you how many users we have in the system, right? And I tweeted some few days ago, we were around 5,000 unique addresses. And now, a few days later, we're already at 5,434. So that's quite an increase, man. I mean, I'm actually kind of shocked how fast this went. And that also correlates quite a bit with how much total of ETH which came into the system. So if you look at the last 3 days, so let's see, 3 days ago, there was 445 ETH coming. 2 days ago, 587. And yes, and today, 528 ETH coming in. And if you just look at the numbers, the 400 people came in, let's say, they are the ones bringing some of these ETH which came in. So this is quite significant, I think, and we're just day 30, and it's absolutely crazy. And yeah, I'm really looking forward, man, and I'm preparing more videos so that people understand a bit more. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that, and we can talk about more. You can, if you have any questions.
Thanks, Mike. Yes, also we definitely look forward to videos and I think it goes without saying again that your work should be supported, and we look forward definitely to hearing more of of the work that you're doing. I think Trevon actually used your recent buy and burn YouTube video in his private members session, and yeah, it was very it was very complimentary of it as well. Yes. Now, is Jamie still, or has he kind of hopped off? Okay. Anyway, if anyone has if you want to say anything, please feel free to let me know again, and I'll bring you up. So, Jamie, let me. I'll send you an invite. Um, Bear with me. So, Jamie, I've sent you an invite. I don't know if you know you can pick it up at all. Indicate if not. If you have any difficulty, just let me know. Okay. Okay. Nearly.
Yeah, thank you. First of all,
No problem.
thanks for hosting these AMAs, and Mike, Dean, thanks for your great videos. I appreciate them. One of the things that I see in the Telegram group for TitanX often is a misunderstanding or a lack of clarity to some people about why or how the Titan X token will increase in value in the face of a tremendous supply coming on board as the staking and mining protocols sort of mature, especially, for instance, the 280-day miner. Um, and I think I know the answer to it, but I'd be interested if one of you more educated people could address that, because I'm pretty sure Jake has addressed it, but a lot of people FUD about the issue of the supply coming on board and what's going to happen over time.
Great. Um, Mike, do you have any insights that you'd like to share on that point?
Yeah, I mean, I could add something to that. So obviously, this is not particularly so let's put it this way, right? When new supply come liquid, people have a choice, and the choice is one of the choice is selling that. And what does selling do? It puts pressure on the price, so the price goes down basically. So now the only thing we have for sure to counteract that is the buy and burn. We have two buy and burn, V1 and V2, right? And the V2 is basically just continuously working in the background, or well, like continuously working, let's say. It's time restricted in some ways, which means you can only run it after every certain minutes, let's say. I think the current set is around every 5 minutes. The other one is V2, which has, I think plan A, you have the numbers. I can look it up. I think there is
It's
how
just
much?
over 9 million, 9.2
Ex
million in ETH. Yeah,
ex
currently.
exactly, exactly. So the 9.2 million, which is sitting in the V1 buy and burn address, is the one which is going to be activated to eat all that supply, basically, which is going to be coming out. So let me just reiterate a little bit so that we can just make it clear. So when new supply come out, the people have an option to sell it. But there's also another option, which is staking, right? That also locks up the supply, for instance, right? So if the incentives for you to stake is so that you can earn the ETH, so that you don't sell, basically, right? And now the new game which is going to come out is going to be called Hyper, which is not yet out. And that effectively will also be taking the supply off the market. So somebody cannot sell it, right? So Hyper is essentially also destroying the supply. I mean, I'm going to make a video about Hyper as well. I've gathered all the information. But essentially, Hyper does the same thing, really, which is taking supply off the market, and therefore you cannot sell, like you will not sell if that's off the market, and then the price will stay stable. And obviously, the bigger question is like, is the V1, is that enough? Is there enough money to eat up all the supply which is going to be coming in the future? And that is something obviously which you need to build up like a little model and predict what will people do. Essentially, why Hyper is coming out so early is, to my opinion, is just so that more people start building on top of TitanX, or even Hyper for that matter. And that is basically going to be eating all the supply which is going to be coming out. And that would be basically what I would say for that for now.
So, that's you know, a comprehensive answer. I think what I would add is I think we shouldn't underestimate the impact that projects like Hyper will have on the entire supply. And remember, you can burn staked supply, and that of course definitely reduces the supply, as you mentioned, Mike. Also, I think even the ETH that we have in V1, I think by October, okay, I think 280 days from the launch, the date of the launch of the protocol will take us to, I think, somewhere in August or so. But long or short of it, with any increase in ETH, that will have an upward impact on the existing pool in V1. Long and short of it, that the balance that we have in the pool, is likely to go up next year for obvious reasons. We know the halving with respect to Bitcoin. We know about the ETFs that can really send the market insane. I mean, overshooting. So long and short of it, from where we are as it is, I think I really don't have that much of a concern because there are different levers that could be pulled to restrict the supply. And if we continue to grow the protocol at the rate that it's growing, or anywhere close to, because of course we're going to plateau at some point, but if the protocol continues to grow in a healthy way, the supply would really be soaked up and absorbed. So I can't give you any data at the moment without it being, and yes, Mike, you did say there's definitely some modeling that could be done to give some projection that is better informed. But I think we would have a better idea once we get to Hyper, once Hyper is launched. And if there are any other third-party projects that are being launched, I think that will give us a good idea. In the meantime, I think we've got the stake payouts to play with, and and I think those are doing well. If you're staked, if you're not, it'll be good to do this ladder. Kind of do a laddering system where leading up to date 280. I mean, you're getting your TitanX tokens at intervals leading up to day 280. I think that's definitely the way to risk manage that. If one is overly concerned that there's going to be a flood of TitanX tokens in the market by day 280, and it may have a prolonged, downward impact. So if that's your concern, if that's one's concern, please make sure you use this ladder system when you're mining. So I think on that point, I would ask, does anyone else want to come up and say, ask questions or, say something? Anna, I must acknowledge Anna. Anna is, really good. I think we all have seen her work. It's excellent. I think she's very talented. Her artwork matches or even surpasses definitely most of what you see out there. And I hope at some point we can be able to put that all together and do something really with it. I mean, whether it be an NFT protocol that sits on Hyper or sits on TitanX, but then showcases this, artwork. I think there is just a lot of talent in this community, is long and short of it, and they are definitely a lot of great possibilities. So thanks, Anna, for the great work you do as well. So yeah. Anybody else? Anybody wants to hop up and let let us know what your thoughts are. Okay, I think in that case, let me say something on this. I know that I mean, Jamie, again, if I know you're planning on hosting or arranging a discussion sometime about this. So I think someone is up. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Bear with me. Mav, you want? Yeah. Well, welcome up.
Well, thank you.
Good. So, no problem.
All right.
Well, welcome on board. So, yes, please feel free.
Thank you. Hello,
Fire away.
everyone. And maybe something to add to the question of nearly. Like the ultimate end solution I would see to the issue of like all those unlocks coming up is one that also Jake mentioned previously, which would be like a protocol similar to liquid loans, but using Hyper as more or less base, so that individuals would be able to like create an over collateralized stablecoin with TitanX as backing. Not sure if everyone is familiar with the liquid loans protocol on Pulse, but I think most of the people in here should be from the Pulse community. In the end, just over collateralized stablecoin. Like you lock up your own Titan in a wallet that you have control over and get like a fraction of that as stablecoin paid out, and that would essentially like take out or take away massive amounts of sell pressure going forward. Like there are some issues with that. I think one of the main reasons liquid loans, for example, only uses PLS as backing is because there you have like all those liquidity pairs and the most liquidity on the entire chain, so nobody could like play around with the price of PLS too much. But that would be like one of the reasons why we need way more protocols building on top of Titan. So the more liquidity we get and the more liquidity pools we can have, the more likely we can get to this end solution. And that here a bit of advertising, like if any one of you has some ideas for projects, like I already have a few in mind. We will have a discussion tomorrow as well in another space, so everyone feel free to join.
Thanks, Mav. You're absolutely right. And I think it may be a bit premature for me to say this, but I am exploring with a couple of developers the prospects of building exactly that. So the long and short of it will be to have a DEX that's either an aggregator DEX or a straightforward DEX with liquidity pools, so you can farm, and of course to have this lending bit that would be, as you quite rightly mentioned, be there to really absorb the the TitanX that's on the market. Of course, there would be some work that will have to be done to see whether it will be a mix of TitanX and probably ETH, or TitanX and a stable coin that will then kind of spit out another stable coin at the other end. But long and short of it, it's absorbing the TitanX on the market, and participants will be able to reclaim their TitanX at the whenever they want to redeem it, and that will in fact create a very healthy protocol in the end. So you know, you're absolutely right. I think we all heard last week that, I think last week or the week before, there was a I think it was Kyber swap there was a hack Kyber swap. Now Kyber swap is an aggregator swap like 1inch. So we're looking at different options. So we're looking at Kyber swap, Para swap, and 1inch are your examples of aggregator swaps. And for us, I think the advantage of that is that we don't have to bootstrap our liquidity pool if we're launching sort of a DEX, because as an aggregator swap, you could easily just use existing liquidity pools. People can just kind of play right away using existing liquidity pools. So all these segregated liquidity pools sitting in different protocols can really be harnessed, and it can be done for free. So anyone who's swapping, there's no charge at that, but at the liquidity provision level, there's definitely a fee, a very competitive fee, as in compared to other sort of protocols out there. I think that is sort of what we're looking at. But what I don't want us to do is start looking at new tech or building something from untested, and therefore, what happened with Kyber swap is really worrying. This is a second hack, successful hack with Kyber swap. Now, 1inch has done very well. They've had over 9 audits, but part of their code is hidden, so it's not open source. So that really is for us at the moment. And again, we're really feasibility studying. That's why I say it's a bit premature. A lot of this feasibility studies that is ongoing. So there's a lot more digging that needs to occur. Now that is on the swap side and liquidity provision, because we need to grow our liquidity. So we definitely need to grow the liquidity available within TitanX, and that is very doable. And the way that TitanX as a protocol is growing is very, very very attractive. Now on the lending side, just to mention, on the lending side, I mentioned that earlier. We could actually do one. We would do one protocol that has both lending with liquidation, a liquidation function, and lending without a liquidation function. And I think we talked about this last week, but it's kind of modeled on Frax. Frax is tested. They don't make a lot of noise on the market. They have their own stable coin, but they're doing well, definitely. And the thing is, if you put in, say, for instance, $10 US dollar worth of TitanX today, and you come to claim day 10, you would only be able to claim $10 worth of TitanX. So even if TitanX were to double or triple in price, in value, you would only be able to take your $10 worth of ETH. And if it were to go down, as in TitanX, I mean, if the price were to sort of decrease, you were, of course, you get your 10, but if the ratios of the protocol are really off because of whatever reason, being that the market conditions are deteriorating, so there will be no payouts. There will be incentives to get people to put in collateral or deposit the acceptable, assets that can shore up the system. But at the time where the market conditions are not really favorable, the system just automatically restricts, any redemptions. Now, this is all decentralized, okay? This is decentralized. So but that's the price of not getting liquidated. But, so you have the option of going in knowing fully well that if you're choosing the option where you potentially get liquidated, fully well that you've got to keep an eye and top up your collateral when need be. And the other option, call it option 2, is your frax option, where you could go in, of course, and put in X amount, but you don't really have to worry about it because you'll not be liquidated at all. But if your frax, sorry, if your TitanX doubles in price or triples in price, you're only going to get what you put in originally. So those are the sort of options that are being looked at the moment. But I really do think it's important for us to wait and see what Hyper has to offer, and then we see where the gaps are. Because we may really be at a point where, the concern that we may at some point in the future have an over surplus of TitanX on the market, that may not even be a concern that, or that may not be something we should be overly concerned about. So, but yes, the discussions about what protocols or that we need, or call it third-party protocols, or we need to plug into the system, that those are discussions that we should have, and the manner of delivering that. Now, if I were to, I would definitely suggest we do exactly the way that Jack and Jake have approached their projects, which is, you get it built and launch the project. Jake has pretty much done quite really. I mean, this is well thought through. And I think he's probably come with a model that the industry would look at in the future and take forward. Because as a developer or as a founder, you can plug and play, as in, and do so sustainably. Because there is a fee structure that is built into the system where 8% of all TitanX that is burnt, in order to get in order to participate in your protocol, or to get the tokens associated with your protocol, will go to the developer and the founder of that project. Now that is a more sustainable way of maintaining your project and building it out, as required in the future. So this is a model that I continue to subscribe to. I think the regulatory legal risks really low with that model. Anyway, that's a discussion for tomorrow. At least we, and we can explore that further. I think that's spaces that Jamie is going to be hosting. In any case, long and short of it, still very early. I don't know anything in the space that is doing what TitanX is doing. TitanX is doing, brilliantly. I think it's the best kept secret in this space, and I think we can all continue to spread the word, continue to kind of let people know, and make the necessary noise to get to get people at least curious, and to start looking into this. And again, of course, we're not recommending any projects here. We're just, the objective here is to continue to create the awareness, to explain the principles that drive TitanX as fair crypto, first principles, and to ask everyone to do their own research and make informed decisions. Because to be frank with you, I truly believe that if each of us take the time to do our own research and understand this project, we would be the best community participants that we can be. I think the conviction really comes from understanding how the protocol works, and that is why when you look at the title that we have for today, it's really unlimited energy, unlimited economic energy. That comes from really understanding how the protocol itself works. So yes, I think again, I would say if anyone wants to add anything, then please let me know. Otherwise, we would be rounding up within the next. Okay, Mike. Yep, please. The floor is yours.
All right, yeah. So, I mean, the first thing I would say, I mean, I'm a software developer myself, so I mean, I have my own ideas and stuff like that. And like everybody else, obviously, time is limited, but I'll definitely would like to join tomorrow, Mav. I just followed you. I'll definitely join tomorrow and hear out what you guys are talking about. And then the second thing I was, Mav, you also mentioned liquid loans. Very interesting, definitely on Pulse Chain. And I think they've just, is it today or yesterday? I think they launched the Oracle because the liquid loans itself, they need the Oracle, so the Oracle has to come out first, basically. And yeah, the I know liquid loans very well. I mean, I actually know the Liquidity. Liquidity is the original smart contract on Ethereum. And actually, Liquidity is the top 5 most forked smart contract on Ethereum. That just tells you how popular it is, and it's working really, really well. And it's actually decentralized stablecoin on Ethereum there with the LUSD. And yeah, I know it very well. I've also read the smart contract myself. I have seen the shortcomings of it as well. So I know all the nitty gritty stuff about it as well very well. So very looking forward for liquid loans for that to happen. So really, really great about stuff. And then I think Plan A, you also mentioned something regarding, I think, fracks and stuff like that. And yeah, I think these are all good ideas. Absolutely, you should we should definitely have a look at this kind of stuff. I think especially like for something like Liquidity, I think this could be better a bit late in the later stages when there's really stability in the price, more or less. Um, yeah, I think that would be definitely something. Yeah, that would work better on the Liquidity. I mean, we could also look at something, for instance, like Aave. That's also possible because that one has more like the ongoing fees, let's say, like the banking system where you pay the APY basically, and in contrast, Liquidity is just it has a one-time fee upfront, let's say. So that's a bit of a yeah different implementation and stuff like that. Yeah, but I think Liquidity is great. I'm also consulting some high net individuals actually on taking loans on Liquidity, and because you actually have to be very careful. Well, not very careful, but you have to know what you're doing. But I'll probably make a video once liquid loans comes out and actually tell you the shortcomings of it so that you don't actually lose your money, because there are people on Ethereum thinking that they're over the there's the ratio, the name
Over
of it,
collateralized.
or the
That
over
it over.
collateral ratio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So you have the 150% and the 110%. But actually, you can also get liquidated when you're even 200%. Actually, that happens, and I know people who go liquidated, and they don't know why, but yeah, obviously there are shortcomings. But anyway, I'll probably make a video about that when that can happen. And actually today, another thing, probably just the last thing here, I spent a few hours today looking at the TitanX contract again, and I was just more interested about how the 8% is implemented, for instance. That is basically the payback of in the system, the dev fee. I think it's also, that's the term for it. In the code, there's another term in the code. Currently can't remember exactly, but I was just looking how that is implemented and basically looking how hyper will be implemented in some ways, because the things which are implemented there already, the buy and burn, for instance, it's going to be very similar in hyper, and also the burning part, the 8%, is basically hyper is going to be using that same function, let's say. So that was very, very interesting, but shall be making a video very soon. But yeah, guys, time is limited, man, and yeah, have other responsibilities, but try my best to keep up with the videos.
Thanks, Mike. That's great. I mean, if you could make the spaces tomorrow, that would be great. And of course, you know, it would be good to you know, understand where whether you're interested in building anything, because it's I think the way I see it really is community members who can build and contribute in that way, with the level of insight that I know that you have. I think the value that you can bring would really surpass that of sort of someone who just wants to make a quick buck. Because I think this is beyond that. But let us see. If you're interested as well, I mean, I think the developers that I have that I'm currently discussing with as well, we definitely can work together. But let's discuss that much further down the line. And you're right, the protocol needs to settle a bit before we really start talking about building the sort of the liquidity or frac, so or even the sort of aggregator swap or swap DEX type projects on top of it. But anyway, I think we've got DEX here. So Des, do you want to say anything? Can I let me send you an invite. Baller, let me know whether you have it, you want to say anything at all. So okay, so if not, then of course I think we should, with coming up to the hour mark here. I think it's really been a really good session. It's been short and sweet, I think. So if there's nothing else, I will say we're looking forward to a great week ahead. I think the payout for day 32 is really is a big surprise. I didn't expect for us to have such a payout, particularly given the payout we have had. We had 8 days ago. We had, of course, day 28. I just think, this is just it keeps surprising everyone. We've got approximately 350,000 and 8-day payout pool. So something to look forward to, and I'm sure there'll be great things in the future to come. So a good payout to look forward to in a couple of days, and I'm wishing everyone a great week ahead. We'll do this again, same time next week, and I think we'll be signing out with a song. So I think our session for today is really, I think we're closing our session for today, and again, thank you for joining. Again, I'll be signing off with this song.